when you confuse oversharing as vulnerability, you are going to start sharing things that are like, you just met this person on an app 2 hours ago. They don't need to know and process like every single thing you've gone through. It's like, just think about it if you're getting that, right? It's like, it might be overwhelming. That's not true vulnerability. That's you like saying and putting all the cards on the table because you're afraid that like, if you don't say all of these things, like from either a past partner or whatever, you're not being open enough, not communicative enough. It's like, it's coming from a place of lack. Whereas if you just like did it naturally and let people find these things out, not like find these things out, but like you share it slowly, that's more vulnerable than being like, here's an open casket right away. Like, right, you know, like.
Yeah. No, I 100%
It's like jump scare.
I 100% get that. Almost dying taught me how to live. Being struck by a car left me in a 3.5-week coma with 15 broken bones and 16 surgeries to complete, including brain surgery. However, I woke up from that coma in an even greater place than I ever foresaw for myself. How? The universe will guide you out of the darkness and into the light if you allow it. Often, spirituality comes off as too highbrow. I'm not about that. Welcome to the podcast that talks and teaches about it through the lens of humor. Together, we'll harness positive energy and use it to work with the universe, all while giggling the entire time. Welcome to Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. This is Dean Lin. Dean is... If you listened a couple episodes ago, Emily came on here. Emily, we talked about how being a party girl makes her a better person.
She beat me to the punch.
Yeah, I connected her to spirituality. And Emily and Dean, they co-host the podcast Definitely Delusional. So today we have Dean on with us. Dean is a content creator. He has a history of working in entertainment before that, but the past 1.5 years, you've been creating content. We go to the same gym. That's where I know Dean from.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of guests that I have high Matt links to. So many of my guests.
You can't say that. No free PR, girl. No, just kidding. But I feel like High Matt is just like a place to network, but also they're going to charge you commission.
They're going to charge me commission for like name dropping them.
They might. But hi, everyone. My name is Dean. Yeah, I like kind of create content comedy-wise, but also like interweaving like personal development into it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think like, again, like we're going to speak in this episode today, right? About like laughter and how it really helps like people. But I felt like throughout my entire, even like when I used to work in entertainment, before I became a creator, I was always trying to make like laughable moments just to make, girl, the workday go easier. But also, I think when I went through like the hardships that I went through, which we can get to later on, when I first got to LA, it has helped me. It like saved my life.
Oh, laughter 100% is what has gotten me through everything. It's the best medicine, like truly, and it's the only thing that carried me through what the worst of the worst those couple years were. And it also made me like so much funnier. My accident made me so much funnier. I was giggly before, but like it boosted the comedy so much.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared to heal too much, right? Everyone says, they're like, oh, what if I'm not funny anymore?
Exactly. Like if I heal too much, I'm like, where are we going? I'm like, I don't want to close off that part of myself that I'm so happy to have accessed.
Yeah. But you know what I realized though? Like,
what?
You don't have to close yourself off. Like, even when you heal those parts of yourself, you can still draw from it.
Oh, absolutely.
As inspiration.
You can always access these parts. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm so much better now, but these parts will always be inside of me, and I can always just, like, reach back in and drag it out.
Not too deep, though, girl, because we're not shadow work, that's another conversation. Like,
that's another conversation. Shadow work?
I tried that once. I was like, ooh, girl, ooh, wait, hold on. It's touch and go for a moment. It's touch and go.
Okay, so you came out to LA, and were you giggly before?
I think I was pretty giggly.
Okay.
But I think, like, I was also going through a lot when I, like, first moved, because I'm from Queens.
You're from Queens. I'm from 2 towns over from Queens, but not Queens.
Wait, where?
Nassau County, Manhasset.
Wait, stop. My parents have a business in Long Island.
Oh my God, nice. Yeah, I'm from Manhasset, so 2 towns over from Queens, but not Queens.
But like Amityville, so like the Amityville.
Amityville.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, actually.
Oh my God. You didn't know this?
Oh my God.
Well, no, because Emily, I think, said that I'm from New York, but she didn't say Long Island.
Yeah, because I thought you were from like either like Manhattan or like one of the other boroughs.
Oh my God, no. Have you heard me say Long Island? Like, there it is.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And when I say yesterday, I don't say yesterday. I say yesterday when I don't think about it.
When I don't think about it, if I say all, like all, without thinking about it, my New York accent can come back so bad. Yesterday, I posted a TikTok talking about coffee, and like I was ranting about how iced coffee is better than cold brew, and we need to stop this cold brew movement. And like each time I said coffee, because I was, heated, there were emotions, coffee, each time.
I mean, listen, coffee. Yeah, it depends on how I'm feeling, how my words come out my mouth, I feel like.
It depends how tired I am, how much I've slept. That definitely has a lot to do with it. Also, my New York accent came back actually worse after I got hurt because, okay.
How?
Here's why. So my parents have New York accents. My mom's from the Bronx. My dad's from Queens. Actually, my mom's from Yonkers, but I like to say she's from the Bronx. My dad is not from Queens. He's from Brooklyn. Because see, you being from Queens is like...
But it's like right next to...
Yeah.
Brooklyn is right next to Queens. But the thing about the MTA, if you don't have a car, you have to go all the way around the entire city. And then to Brooklyn on the M.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's still that, though. I haven't taken a train in a while.
It's just a mess. Yeah. So my dad's from Brooklyn. My mom's from Yonkers. They have New York accents. But when I grew up and I went to elementary school, like no one had accents. And when I went to middle school, or most people didn't. And like high school, like no one had accents. And then I came to USC, so for college. And then, I came out to this part of the world and obviously no one had a New York accent. And my mom used to say all the time that I started talking like a Kardashian after I came out here. Then my accident happened. I had to relearn how to talk. Like that was part of waking up from the coma and the brain injury. I had to relearn how to talk. So I relearned how to talk in the presence of my mother and father. I wasn't going to school, so I wasn't getting exposure from all these people that didn't have New York accents. All my time that I had spent in California at USC, gone. And I relearned how to talk with a New York accent.
I mean, we love it, though.
We love it. It's fun.
We love it because it's like your heritage.
It's my heritage. It's my culture.
Yeah, I mean, some days, like, I remember the first sentence I, like, kind of said to one of, like, the people in college. I went to Occidental in East LA, but I, like, stayed after. I didn't really, like, move back. So, like, coast to coast. The first sentence I said to someone, I was like, dead ass, you get me mad tight. And they were like, what did that entire sentence mean?
That entire sentence mean?
Yeah, and I was like, wait, sorry, I forgot
that we don't say that here.
Yeah,
I say dead ass all the time, and people are always like, what?
I kind of lost that. I kind of lost saying dead ass a lot.
I kept that one. I kept dead ass.
I think
dead ass.
It depends. It depends when the context is, right? I feel like if I'm around a lot of New York people, I'll be like dead ass.
Yeah.
Because it's like a confirmation, a question, a statement, everything. It means everything.
I kept that one. Yeah. That one's still within me. I'm trying to think. Is there any else lingo that we say in New York that's still with me? I say bruh all the time. And
I always say bruh. I used to say bruh all the time in the beginning of my sentences, like bruh.
I say bruh all the time. And that's definitely more of a New York thing, which is weird because like California, you would think surfer bruh. But like, no, it's definitely more of a bruh is like a New York thing.
Or it's brick outside.
It's dead ass brick outside.
It's brick.
It's dead ass brick outside.
And it's like 75 degrees in LA.
It's like 75. Your blood thins quick. Your blood thins quick. I distinctly remember there was one day in college where I said to my roommate, I was a senior at this point, and I said to my roommate, make sure you wear a sweatshirt. It's cold today. I looked at the temperature, 67 degrees.
I know. And back then, it was like 50 degrees and we'd be pulling out the shorts.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, we were like, I remember like in elementary school, like me and my friends tanning because it was 55 degrees.
It was like one of those things where I'm like, I went back and I haven't been back. I'm actually going to go back soon to New York just to like visit my parents, whatever, and like just go back to the city for a hot set because I haven't been back since like 7 years in the summertime.
Okay.
And I just haven't experienced New York in the summer for a long time. Every single time I went home was like for Chinese New Year or like for the holidays. Girl, when I tell you when I got back home, my nose was like purple, like my hands were, and my mom was like, are you okay? I'm like, babe, I just came from 80-degree weather. My body is in diabolical shock.
This is
right
like
now.
Literally toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah. This is like free cryotherapy, but like still.
Yeah.
Like, insane.
This is hard for me. So do you think that being from New York like infused some of your giggles or no?
I think being from New York, I was able to get a lot of the wit that I have.
The wit, yes.
The wit and the uniqueness in terms of like the way I approach people. Because I think one of the hardest things when I came to LA was expecting people to be the same way as they were in New York.
That's such a problem I had too.
People here are like nice to your face, but fake to your back.
This
A
is
lot of the
such a
time.
problem I had my freshman year of college. Yes. Where in New York, it's like, listen, I will tell you to your face if I don't like you, but I will never be fake nice.
New Yorkers are not nice because I feel like niceness is performative. New Yorkers are kind though.
Yes. I always say I'm kind, I'm not nice. I always say that.
Period. That's what I say.
I always say that. And like, if someone calls me nice, I honestly think it's a little insulting.
I mean, it depends on the context, right? I'm like, if it's like just like the brush off, I'm like, okay, whatever. But if it's like they're telling me seriously, I'm like, okay, girl, okay. I'm like, I'm kind, but like, you know, like
Yes.
niceness is very like, it's like when you like send an email, a professional email.
Yeah,
know?
it's when you start the email with, I hope you had a lovely weekend.
And I'm like, girl, no, I hope you got like so turned. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss the professional world a little bit, but not really. That's
You transition to the content creator. So that's something you like. Professional, you mean that?
Well,
when you worked in entertainment before becoming a content creator.
Yeah, but I got laid off, so, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who cares? Now you're doing what you really want to do.
I feel like, okay, that's the thing though. I'm like, it's unstable, but I feel like it's also kind of so freeing.
So freeing.
Freeing. Like,
yes.
Oh my God. It's one of those things where it's like, I definitely laugh more now because like I don't have like someone telling me what to do. Also very Sagittarius of me, but.
Oh my God, you're a Sagittarius?
Girl, my ascendant, my rising, my moon, my Mercury, my.
Oh, you're a triple
Five.
5. I'm a Sagittarius rising.
Oh my God. Mine is like Sagittarius, 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 and then Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. Someone looked at my chart and they like almost threw up because they were like, how's your chart like that? I'm like, girl, I don't know.
I don't know, but
don't
it's
know.
also funny because Sagittarius and Capricorn are like pretty opposite.
Yeah, I'm like.
They're like pretty opposite.
Why do you think I'm delusional?
That's why you have a podcast called Definitely Delusional.
Definitely Delusional. But you know, I feel like you need to be delusional to achieve your dreams.
Oh, you 100%, because you have to believe in yourself despite everything being
It's not even
stacked
believe in
against
yourself.
you.
I think it's like you have to be delusional enough to think past what you are grown up to believe. I truly think
Yes.
that. The box in your mind or like the confinements of like the way that like people think of you or like think of their life or life in general. Because I think you think that like your dreams are like big, but then like ask people and you think everyone has it. But it's like I've spoken to some people. Not everyone has big dreams. And like when you grow up in that environment too, it's like when people just like, you know, do the whole like married young kids, the family, the work, go to bed, sleep, eat, like that, like whatever. It's like I'm not judging anyone for that because I'm like, that would be a life. If I wanted that life, I would have that life, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And like if people have that life and they're happy with it, oh my God, amazing. But not everyone really has big dreams, but like you have to delude yourself into thinking you can achieve that because it's like, let's say you grew up on food stamps, right? My parents didn't grow up that wealthy, whatever. And like, if you're in that environment and you don't think that you can achieve something bigger or like have a life that's bigger than that, like you'll never achieve that.
Yeah.
Because you'll never get out of those confinements of like that way of thinking.
Yeah. Well, I 100% think that partially applies to my accident because it's like after what happened to me, like you would not think I'd be doing this. Like you'd kind of think I'd be down and out for like ever. And I was like, no, I don't. It's shocking that I moved back to LA. I was in LA when I got hurt, but then I was recovering at home for a bit in New York once I left the hospital. And like no one could believe that I was moving back to LA like. And I moved back way too early, but no one could believe it. I was like, no, that delusional dream, I'm making a life for myself. I'm going to keep fucking going. This thing isn't taking me down. They were like, you still have surgeries left. And I was like, no, I'm fighting.
No, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people survive. And it's like, it's not so much about like how, I guess, no, before I was going to say something, but talent is important. I was going to say talent's not important, but talent is important. But I think the longevity and how long you can endure too is super important, especially because it's like a lot of people come here for like a year and they hate it. They start complaining about it and then they leave. And I'm like, that's why?
Yeah.
Because it's like what you complain about is what you're choosing a lot of the time, right? Like I heard another person say this too. But I also think that like what people say about like making it in New York or making it in LA, if you can make it in both cities, you can make it anywhere.
Truly, truly. And I also think like that speaks to laughter a lot because I think laughter is such a key part of the Delulu that like laughter basically fuels Delulu. It's like, because it like carries you through, like, none of this is that bad. It makes you think like, it's going to be okay. Like,
Yeah,
none
no,
of
it
this is
is.
that bad. Yeah.
I think laughter and like, I'll start talking about my like how I kind of got into more laughing and like
Yes.
using it as like kind of a medicine in a second. But I think like something that someone told me when I was in rehab, which is the story I got to,
Yes.
is that they were like, you rather be laughing, like no one's gonna be laughing at you if you're laughing with them.
Yes.
And that kind of like, even though it's like a cliche, whatever, it's like an easy saying, but it's like, I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute. That's so true. Cause like a lot of the times you're worried that people are gonna be laughing at you. But then when you like are able to laugh at yourself and you embrace that like fear of being like laughed at or fear of being like hated or fear of like being seen as like not enough, like if you could laugh at yourself, you're like, okay. Like that, it makes it less of a priority in your brain. But a lot of the times too, like I forget that like whatever we think that other people think about us is what we think about ourselves.
Yeah, it 100% is. Well, how other people treat you is fully a reflection of themselves. And like what you assign to yourself based on the way someone treats you is actually what you're thinking about yourself.
It's so true. It's like, okay,
so true.
Let's say I was like, oh, I think Gabby doesn't like me very much. And like she has all these ideas about me. All of the things I think that you think about me is what I think about myself, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's not, like, because you're not a mind reader. Okay?
No.
Like, you'd be famous if you were. Like I tell myself that. I'm like, girl, if you were a mind reader, you would literally be on, like, Good Morning America reading people's, like, tarots or, like, people's futures, right? Like, you're not a mind reader. Like, be for real.
Be for real.
Be so for real.
Yeah. No. And it's so that, like, the notion of judgment, anytime you judge somebody else, it's like some judgment that, like, you have about yourself. Like the standard, like that's what judgment is. Like any judgment you place on someone else, there is something deep down in there that like it's partially about yourself. Like just because we were just talking about this, the notion of calling somebody a slut, like for example, like in a bad way. Like I love calling my friend slut in a friendly way, but the notion of calling somebody slut in a bad way, that's like you have some shame regarding sex and yourself. Like there is some shame regarding that kind of behavior and yourself. It's not like you thinking somebody else is a slut actually has nothing to do with that person. It fully has to do with like how you feel about sex and your personal issues with it.
Yeah. A lot of people don't talk about like, you know, like the projection aspect of it. Like everything is a projection. And I wish they would teach more, like kids more of that in school. Like imagine if you were to teach kids, like, if, let's say, like someone was mean to them at school, they wouldn't internalize it with their worth. But teaching them that, oh, like if someone like is really like bullying you or whatever, it's like, yes, like that's not okay. But also it does not reflect who you are. They're probably going through something and they're taking it out on you. And it has nothing to do with your self-worth or like you as a individual, whatever. And I think they don't teach that.
Yeah, no. Like it's like the whole notion of bullying, like it's not okay because respect and treat everyone like just be a person. Like, especially in the adult world when somebody is like essentially bullying you. I'm sure you've met people. I definitely have.
Girl, I'm glad I was bullied as a kid though.
Oh no, it definitely gave me my personality.
Character development.
It definitely gave me my personality.
Yeah. Sometimes I meet a person and I'm like, you are underseasoned. Like,
yes.
you haven't been fully cooked.
Yes,
like,
you haven't lived enough.
Yeah, you haven't basted enough.
No. You need to be like incubated a little bit more.
like we need some some growth serum there. I don't know, but like character development is like, it's just wild. And I've noticed it a lot when I like first got to college because I'm like, oh my God, some of these kids have never like been outside their hometowns.
No, yes.
But like being from the city, it's like you see everything.
No, you see everything. So you were so prepared when you came to LA because you're like growing up in Queens. We were just talking about how in New York, you're always watching your back.
I mean, girl, yeah. And like, I feel like I started taking the subway or bus when I was like 13. Started walking to school when I was like 12, 11. Like, because so we lived like close, but not close enough to like my elementary and like middle school. So we just walked.
You just walked.
So like I started walking when I was like in the 5th grade.
Okay.
Like to school. And then like when
you were grown in the 5th grade.
Girl, I was grown. I had my first job when I was like 14. Had to get like papers to get exempt from like working like starting 16 because the minimum was 16. But then I was like, no, I need to start working. So I started working when I was like 14, girl.
Oh my God. You were just ready to...
The Bath and Beyond. That's where I worked, my first job.
Bed Bath & Beyond. What a great first job.
I mean, listen, it wasn't the best job, but like it helped me like learn how to deal with people.
Yeah, I was always a babysitter. So like everyone talks about how like their target job or whatever, like it helped them develop like XYZ. And I'm like, I skipped that. Like I was a waiter for like literally a month and then I broke my wrist so I could no longer do the waitering. But other than that, I was just a babysitter. And that's not like I was a babysitter and a tutor. So like that's not.
Yeah. I mean, I fear that being a waiter, I was a waiter for a month too, like during the summer for like the sushi spot. And I realized I couldn't be a waiter because like, girl, I'll spit in your food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will. I just know myself. It was just like also a time where I was like very unhealed. I was like a kid. It was like, when people were like super rude to me, I was just like, girl, I could spit in your food. I didn't. But like, if I worked there any longer.
You were going to. Yeah, I only had my 1 month. But like, I also like, I was a babysitter, but it was like consistent. Like I was a babysitter slash tutor, and it was multiple days a week, every week. So it was consistent. Like it was a consistent enough job.
Yeah.
But I was like learning to deal with young kids. Like I wasn't learning to deal with humans. And what dealing with young kids taught me
Patience.
is children should be seen, not heard. I fully agree with that.
I mean, well, it depends.
I'm joking.
No, it is true in some sense, but then also it depends on who raised them. Thus far, you know?
It depends who raised them for sure.
And how old they are.
Fixing this behind me.
Oh, this little pillow.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's like plopping out.
As long as I like that. With the girly pop shirt, it's cute.
Girly pop, yeah, it's like my little slogan that I say. Now like everyone's like saying it around me, all my friends, because like you adopt people's lingo.
Girly pop? Okay, so I'm probably gonna adopt that because I like that word.
Girly pop.
Girly pop.
It's just like a little endearing thing, you know?
It is. It's cute. It's fun. I like it. It's engaging.
Yeah.
So you said that you were gonna touch on when did the whole rehab, blah, blah, blah start?
So I kind of knew early on, and I brought this up to my co-host Emily one time. I was like, listen, I knew I've always wanted to move out here, I think. Like, there was a college fair when I was like 14 that I went to. Like, first 3 flyers were like Chapman, UCLA. And it was like a bunch of like schools in the West Coast. And I think it's because I was so desperate to get out of there.
I basically only applied to West Coast schools,
Because I had like a lot of like just family stuff. But like also I think like when you are kind of like the black sheep of your family, or like you just kind of like know that you need to get out in order to like be away from it, to like heal. Because I knew I was struggling with things and that wasn't something I needed to admit, right? But like, so I like grew up like really overweight. Like my parents were like my first bullies kind of. And so again, the projection part where it's like, because I was so like bullied for that, I like equated a lot of like the way I looked, everything like to how lovable I was and my worth, right? For the longest time.
100%.
And I think that, and I've like struggled with it my entire life. I think it's because like, of just like never wanting to feel emotion. So like, I feel like when I was growing up, I dealt with like more like binge eating, right?
And that's then like the Capricorn. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my mom, love her though, like, and we'll go back to this later of like forgiving for yourself. But she like kind of like was always bullying me about like how much weight I should lose, whatever. And I remember her being like to the doctor, oh wait, like, so should we like take a pint of blood like every month to like help him lose weight? And I was like, is this like legal? Anyway, girl, it was not.
It was not.
Like she like tried everything. She like bribed me with a laptop this one summer of my first year of high school to lose weight. And I did. I lost like 50 pounds that summer. I did Insanity. Yeah. That like before the P90X, that was like insanity. Like
Insanity.
And I thought it wasn't gonna work.
I remember that. Yes.
But like it's crazy because like my mom taught me how to starve myself. Like it was one of those things where like you don't notice it as a kid because you're so wanting that like acceptance. And I think that's where community comes in, and that's why community is so important.
Well, yes, I
agree.
And
like that like acceptance of the people around you. And so like my first year, like people would literally nickname me like, they would call me like chubby. Like just like call me that, not even by my name. And like throughout my life too. And so when I did lose the weight, girl, that's why I have so much compassion for people and empathy and just like treat everyone with like the most kindness I can. People's idea of me switched 180. It was like, oh my God, you're such an inspiration. You're such a, the fuck? I was like, you didn't even know my name 2 months ago.
Yeah, you didn't even know it's also, I unfortunately know or have encountered story, like just people in general who like they have developed eating disorders, and basically they were taught to have one by a parent. Like a parent basically taught them to have an eating disorder. So it's like, which is such a mind fuck.
And it wasn't her, like, I guess it wasn't her, like, goal to do that. And I don't think, like, anyone in my family does. But I think she inadvertently did that.
She inadvertently,
because she wanted the best for me.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
And she probably knew, because you said it yourself, like how everybody treats you differently the second there is weight loss. It's crazy how much value that we as humans, we place on the external.
Yeah, and so I was like really happy for a while, but that high always goes away. Because if you don't like yourself, it like
always goes away. And there are also so many instances where people like are in really great shape, or they look, or not even in great shape, they're just really skinny. And people are like, oh my God, you look so good, you look so healthy, you look so happy. And they're like, I was actually the least healthy and the least happy I've ever been.
Yeah, and like, that's the thing. That's like something I worked in therapy like a lot on too. But like, that's for later. This is still in the timeline. But I was like actually fine for a while.
Okay.
Like, you know, I feel like.
When you came out here?
No.
Oh, no.
Girl, this is like a long ass story.
Okay,
this
is a long ass story.
Just kidding.
Okay.
But no, it was like, after I lost, I was fine for a while. I was like, I joined track, whatever. And I remember, and this is why I'm like, your words are very important to people. There's this one random acquaintance friend. It was just like after health class one day. I remember this distinctly because it was like a shifting point in how I viewed myself even more. I was still afraid to like gain weight, whatever. But he was like, this was junior year of high school. And I already have lost the weight, whatever. It's been like a year, whatever. And he like made a like joking comment. He was like, ooh, Dean, looks like you're putting on back the pounds. Or something like that. And I remember it because that was the exact moment when I was like, holy shit, oh no. You know, like when your brain goes into like.
Yes.
And that's when I started spiraling. And like that's when like my habits started. Of like, just like either not eating or like just working out a lot with like, with running. Yeah. Or just like, I had like a brief stint with like bulimia. It was just like a bunch of, I had all of it, girl. Anything to control. Huh?
I'm a failed bulimic.
I mean, listen, I wish.
I'm a failed bulimic. When I was at my peak disordered eating, I was like, oh my God, if it would be easier if I was bulimic, so I'm gonna try that. I tried so hard to get this hand all the way down there.
Don't tell the men that.
No.
You just don't have a gag reflex.
No, but it doesn't matter how it does. I don't have a gag reflex.
No, but I don't either. But it like I figured out a way. Anyway,
I figured out a way.
But that's the thing though. I like always want to share like about my story, but I'm afraid that it's gonna trigger people and give them new habits. So I'm like, I'm not. But anyway, so I knew I had an issue, and I just never shared it with my parents. But I knew that I needed to get out and also get help. So like literally when I landed in LA, I was like still 17 at the time. And I had applied for this like school, like early decision. And I had like not told my parents until like 2 days before I left. Yeah, because they wanted me to stay local and stuff, but I knew like them holding me back. I need to go. And so like I did go, and like they paid for a lot of my school, not my parents. Like I got a scholarship, and then the rest of it I work studied because I was getting more from a private school in California versus a state school.
In
like
New
a
York,
SUNY, yeah. My sister went to a SUNY. Like, they're not bad. It was just like more expensive for me to go there. So I was like, I need to get out anyway. So but my entire first year, it was kind of like, I was like at my most, I thought I was at my most unhealthiest, but then it was like when you go to college, like the drinking, right? And the drugs and everything, like just exacerbates it. Plus the validation from like just trying to meet new people.
Yes.
And so like I felt like it was like an opportunity for me to like start over and everything. But like I was the first one to I think like just like go into there, like seek out the resources because I heard about it and like during orientation, whatever. And I was like, I went to the therapist, still one of my favorite therapists to this day. He ended up like going private practice and now I can't afford him, but like it's fine because it's been years. I've had him for like basically free like throughout my college. And that was like so helpful for me. I'll explain why. But like I went into rehab the first time October of my freshman year.
Okay,
no,
so quick.
I went 3 times, girl.
3 times.
Yeah, I know that's right. But no, in October I went because I was like, my therapist was like, girl, you need to go, like whatever. And so I was like, okay. So I feel like people give people a chance.
Were you going to rehab for a combination of the disordered eating issues?
I went for like every single diagnosis, basically.
Okay.
But I never told my parents this until they found out like way after my third time in rehab. Because, you know, like I never, when you don't have self-worth, you also don't want to be a burden to people, right?
Yes.
It's like, so I also had that. And
But did going to rehab like make it, I assume it delayed your college graduation?
no.
No, okay.
But that was my problem too.
Okay.
I'll explain why. And I'll explain to everyone and why you should just go get help if you need help.
Yes.
For me, I was like, no, I have to finish school. And I was like, girl, you acting like school is more important. If you die, none of this will matter.
Yeah.
Like,
truly.
actually, I'm like, girl, what the hell? What the helly?
Yes.
No, literally. But I feel like everyone needs like 1, 2, 3 times if you're like struggling to go to rehab. Because like the first time I went in, you know what my mindset was? My mindset was like, okay, heal me in 2 weeks. Girl, I went in for 2 weeks. It was like a residential place. It was like more of a house, not really a hospital. After 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna do like outpatient intensive. Girl, I went out and like went in there 2 weeks, went out, relapsed in 3 seconds.
Relapse in terms
Everything.
of everything.
Yeah, because it was like, girl, you didn't
So mental health issues, eating issues,
like the
alcohol,
drug stuff, yeah, whatever. And so it was just like literally everything. And like I think like alcohol less so because I still like socially drink and stuff here and there nowadays. But I think it was because I was able to deal with like all my stuff.
Okay.
And like I don't really like even go out that much anymore either. But like
I remember I asked you if you were excited about Pride weekend and you were like, no.
I went out one day. That's it.
Oh, you went one day.
That's it. And like Sunday, I went like, I got to West Hollywood at like 5 p.m.
Okay.
And we left at like 10. I was like, I'm not going in the morning.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, after that, I went a second time. I tried to do like an intensive like outpatient program in like January of that year. Oh, like the next year. Because I went back home and then I realized I was re-triggered. I was like from where, you know, everything grew. And I was just like, oh my God. And so I went back to like a more like, it wasn't more so residential, but it was more like a 7-hour thing. And like.
And this was your sophomore year of college?
No, still my first year.
Oh, still my friend. Oh my
Girl,
God.
I know. I put my body through so much.
Okay.
It's actually insane. And that time I went in, I was still like, I was okay. I was like, whatever. I like went back home. I was re-triggered. All the things. Like my parents forced me to eat. And so it was like, you know how bad that shit goes when they force you and they don't. Anyway. Food is not the answer, girl.
It's not the answer.
No, it really isn't. Because like people think it's like you just eat. And I'm like, ooh. Don't say that because that's going to trigger someone.
Yeah, it's more complicated.
It's more complicated than that. Because if it was that easy, are you calling me stupid? I'm just kidding. But no, I realized that like the way that I would like deflect and also like flake out on going to like my 7-hour like outpatient thing, like with also having school was the same way that I was showing up for the people in my life at that time.
Okay.
But also how I was showing up for myself, but also how I was trained to kind of avoid conflict.
Okay.
So I was like, instead of telling them that I was like, I don't want to go, I just like didn't go to like literally the program. And then so they ended up just dropping me. So it's like I went in for a couple weeks, went in here and there. Like
they dropped you?
Well, they were like, we can't help someone who doesn't want help. And it's like, it's true though.
I mean, it's true. They can't help someone that doesn't want help. Like, I get that. But it's also just like this is somebody who needs rehab. They're not showing up. Maybe you should like check in on
Oh, no,
person.
they did though. But like the thing is like for me, I'm a stubborn person. And that's why I don't blame them. Because I'm like, I'm a very stubborn person. And I knew exactly what I was doing.
Capricorn.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But my impulsive Sagittariusness was like, and then, yeah, I think after that though, I just felt like shit was hitting the fan because I think it was just like, I went in 2 times and I was just like still a mess because my issue was like, I was still trying to be the perfect patient every single time I went in, which is like perfectionism, all of that.
Yeah,
but it's like, you don't heal when that shit happens. And that happened the 3rd time I went in too, but that's why I was there for so long and it got through to me.
Okay.
But it was like the end of my freshman year and I will thank my therapist to the end of this day because he was like, girl, you're gonna need to check in because you might like drop dead tomorrow. Like, we don't know. Like my heart rate was like 30.
Yeah, from under eating?
Yeah, just everything though. Yeah. And also working out. It's like, girl,
and
the
working out like
everything.
Amount?
Literally everything though. It's like, girl, your body can't handle that. Yeah. Like, you know, and I'm not gonna say my weight because I don't want to trigger anyone, but I was
no.
Very like, not okay. But
I'm
like
doing drugs, I say.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Because like, in order to get through all of that, it's like you have to.
You have to.
You kind of have to, but also, no, you don't have to. But to like,
no, you don't have to, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah. I'm glad you get it because I feel like if you haven't really gone through it, it's like you may be able to empathize, but you don't really understand like when you're in that state. And like a lot of the things I don't really remember in terms of like the day-to-day then because you're so like, you don't have the your body's barely alive, right?
Yeah.
And so the third time I went in, I like had to like leave school a little bit early, but like a lot of my professors, because I was stubborn, I was like, I need to be able to finish my coursework, like, or do my finals like online or later on. And so I wasn't behind.
Yes.
But then I went in and like,
Capricorn.
my therapist was he was the first, he visited me one time when I was inpatient.
Oh.
I know, but I was like, so this whole next third rehab thing was a complete 180 of like the 2 weeks. I wasn't there for like 7 months, but like, it was like,
Okay. It was 7 months.
well,
right?
like it was like a span of 7 months. They don't tell you how long.
Okay.
It's the first thing I was worried about. The second I walked in, I was like, when am I getting discharged? They're like, girl, we don't know.
And
it was like,
girl, we don't know.
Like,
and you're like, I have school.
yeah, I have school and like, okay, but you could also be dead. I'm like, okay, right, true.
All right. Okay, true.
True.
I see you and I raise you.
True. But I will say though, the first month, like I was mentioning earlier, I didn't heal at all because I was literally like sneaking shit, like, and trying to like still engage in everything that I did. Like I was still like wanting to be in control. That like,
oh my God, that unfortunately is like the story too many times with the rehab that the patients are like still trying to do.
And so that's why
why
they didn't want to discharge me.
Yeah.
And like, thank God, because it was like, the whole like almost 1 month, like, and I was like still trying to be the perfect patient. I was like, I'm fine. This is like great. And like, they're like, you're doing everything. Yeah. Like you're progressing and stuff on paper, but you're not.
Yeah, we know you're not.
Yeah. And then like one of the days I like broke, I think I like literally went to one of the restrooms and like, whatever. But like that was because everyone was sleeping, whatever. I figured out a way. Cause you know, crazy bitches be crazy.
And a Sagittarius will find out the way if
girl.
they have to.
And
if
then
anyone
like,
can find out the way,
they figured out like, yeah, they were like, someone did that last night. And I blamed it on someone else. I looked them dead in the eye and I blamed it on someone else. It was crazy. But like, that's the thing. Like an addiction will do that to you. Like they will make you lie and like not make you yourself.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, I've never experienced an addiction. But like because I've obviously heard people like talk about it. It's everyone says like it will make you lie and betray everyone. And it's not that like you are trying to, it's literally this illness is making you do this.
It's like one of those things where it's like you don't even recognize yourself because it's not you.
Yeah, it's
but
not you.
But also it's like part of it is like you trying to scream out for help, right? But like also part of you is like trying to grasp onto it because it's the only thing you really know how to like get through life with, right? And like that's all you've been getting.
Your addiction is like your crutch.
Like your friend, your bestie, right?
Well, that's the problem with eating disorders too, is they become like your crutch almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you isolate yourself from everyone, you know? And like the more that people comment, the more you're like, oh yeah, see, no one really like wants to be around me. And you isolate more, right?
Exactly.
But when I finally broke was when, you know, they like sat me down again. They're like, did you do it? Like, are you lying, whatever? And then I broke down for some reason, and I'm glad I had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
But that breakthrough didn't come because, I just kept on dilly-dallying. No, it came because, tying back to literally the theme, laughter, because of one nurse, and I will also love her for the rest of my life. I think her name was like Nurse Vanessa.
Okay.
But basically, she was one of the most funny, most like, girl, do you see yourself? Like, she was so like dark comedy, and it was probably like, she probably didn't give a shit because she was just like, I'm working here. Like, it was a night. She was an overnight nurse too for us.
Yeah.
And she was like, girl, do you see yourself? Like, this is not, you like look sick. You think you're fat, but you're not. But like, she just gave me like real truths, but made it like kind of funny. And it was like something I think I just needed to hear at the time. Because I think a lot of coddling, like they could tell you, like, I think when it comes from like a more like authoritative figure, it's like, oh, you have to do this. So, like nutritionists being like, you have to do this. No one hates a nutritionist more than someone who has had an ED.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have one. But because I can take care of myself now. But like, it was just more so like
you're in great shape. Yeah.
Well, you know, like I try to like just balance it because I'm like, I can't do the whole like, I don't weigh myself, by the way. I haven't weighed myself in the past 2 years. I don't weigh myself.
No. I know that's like the first thing to get rid of when you're getting over a form of eating disorder or disordered eating.
I don't measure anything. I don't measure literally anything.
Yeah.
I don't measure. Like, there's a scale in gym, I don't use it. Like, I don't measure. Like, I don't talk about any of those things because I'm like, if it works for y'all, like counting whatever, like, good for you. But I have like an obsessive personality. I will never do that ever again.
Also, like the scales so often are wrong. Like, there's like scales are rarely right. So sometimes when I'm in the gym locker room, I'll like see girls like routinely going on the scale. And one time, A scale, I am lucky in the sense that a scale doesn't trigger me, but I knew how much I weighed because I've had to be in and out of doctors so many times. So I was like, that's partially why a scale doesn't trigger me because I am always in and out
Oh
of
no,
doctors
I made sure. I was like, I'm gonna step on the scale backwards, and
and not see.
and you're gonna write it down, and that's it.
And not see. Well, they basically had to make me aware because it was how much weight I lost from being in the coma and not
No, I
walking.
understand
They
that.
basically had to make me, and it was scary. I haven't weighed that little since middle school. But so one time was just stepped on the scale in the gym, and it was making me like, I just had a doctor's appointment. So I could see it was making me like 8 pounds heavier than I currently weighed. And it
Yeah.
made me feel bad for the amount of people who step on that religiously, because I know this was the one time I did it. But the amount of people that step on that religiously and it's determining their self-worth, because I'm like, that's not even correct.
I know it's not correct, but also it's like, girl, you weigh different on the moon.
Yeah, like you weigh different on
Everything's
the moon.
made the fuck up. That's number one. But also number two, it's like, it's not a way to live.
No.
Living like that, it's just like, I've been there, and it's just like,
Talk about being happy. Like, if you're happy with like yourself and what you see in the mirror, great. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not about a number.
yeah, but it's like, it's also one of those things where it's like, I think it's definitely harder, especially, of course, like my dumbass would stay in LA, right? Like where it's like literally the most hyper fixated thing on in the city, I feel like a lot of the time.
Yeah, it is.
And
definitely.
so it was very, I think it was like that also played a part in like me getting even like worse. But the nurse, I'm going back to the nurse.
Yeah,
she
go
was
back.
very like, just so open about the way that like she communicated with us. And like, she was very empathetic, and she was like, listen, like you don't want to, like she was the one that gave me all these like truths and stuff. She's like, you don't want to be dead and not be able to like do anything.
Yeah.
And like, she just like made little analogies, which I use a lot of analogies in my content nowadays because I realized like that's what really helped me. She like used a piece of paper and drew like, okay, look at this one neuron, right? And then like, if you do one line, it's like, okay, you can't really see on the next piece of paper. Think of that as like an imprint on your brain, like a crease on your brain. If you keep on going back and forth, the ink's gonna start bleeding through, and then it's gonna start denting all the papers behind it, which is
Okay.
like kind of like, think of it like a imprint on your mind to like the pathway to new behaviors.
Yes.
In that way, right? And so
Just
like she
a
visualized
belief
it
is
for
just
me.
a thought you repeat. Yeah.
But like she like visualized that for me, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because it was all like bullshit to me where it was like in the past. Like I feel like, it's like people always say it's easy, and then it's like, okay, it's not gonna work. But then like she really took the time to like explain it to me, and like the center's closed now, so I could say this. But she like literally broke us out of rehab one night. No, but for like a joyride. For like a joyride to Denny's, just to show us like how unhealed we still were, some of us. Because we went to Denny's, and I was like, can I get the pecan pancake without the pancake? And you know what came on the plate? One pecan.
One pecan?
And bitch, I have that video still. I don't know. Maybe I'll send it to you later. But it was like one of the funniest things ever. And we all started laughing. But then she was like, do you see? Like, do you get it? Do
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying now?
Like how unwell you are.
Like
Yeah.
unwell. And like the fact that we were able to laugh about it, but also like, that was the first time I ever laughed with the other residents together. Because we
Okay.
all like, in a way, like kind of like, ugh, like we were just all dealing with our own shit. But like that really opened our eyes up to like, girl, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, are we really doing? But no, yeah. After that, like when I finally like start to deal with my shit and like really release, and like I was still very like mentally unwell, but I got my body stuff in order for now. And then I knew myself at the point of like, when I got out of residential, I was like, I can't go into like the PHP thing. I know I'm gonna relapse really quick because I did it so fast in the beginning. I was like, I know how to do it slow now. So I went to like transitional living for a month.
Okay.
Which is like you're still in a house with people, like with someone where it's like,
yeah.
but like you have more freedom.
Yes.
And then you go to like only 7 hours, and then like 3 hours.
Okay.
And that was like just in time when like school started.
It's
'Cause I
like
was late to school.
waning off therapy. It's waning, like people think waning off drugs, but it's like that, but for therapy.
Yeah. So it was like I think it was like end of October, like November-ish, when I like finally like started to get discharged from like IOP, the 3-month thing. And like after that, I think, college, you still like, you still have like the mental part of it. And that's what I like been working on ever since. And so like, that's why I'm able to come to the way I am now in terms of like thinking about things. And
Okay.
like, I think people think it's supposed to go like this because that's how we're raised to like want things instantaneously. Babe, therapy is not going to work in like 1-2
No.
years if you have like your whole life is trauma.
Yeah.
Like for me, it took like maybe like up to the 5-year mark when things finally started to like click naturally for me in terms of like being like, oh wait, this is just being filtered through like my negative core belief,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's like the unfortunate reality of a lot of situations is trauma takes like years to develop. So it's not going to be undone in a second. It's going to take just as long, if not longer, to undo.
Yeah. Did you see that wine glass like analogy where someone like poured wine and then like they poured water and it kept on running and it wasn't clear until like it kept on having
No.
to run and it was still gonna be purple until like you have
So
to keep on.
Yes.
That's why it takes time. It's like you can't just like rinse it out.
No,
and
you
be
can't just
fine.
rinse it out. Yeah.
So
So that's a great
yeah,
analogy.
it was a really good. I was like, wow,
Wow. Also, I see the analogies in your humor just because something you posted on your Instagram that like I sent me.
Which one, the
like,
ayahuasca
sent me
one?
the ayahuasca one.
It's true though, and like that's the thing. I like just made that out of my car because I was like just thinking, you know, because I
Yes.
overthink. I have too many thoughts. But I was just like, it's so true because I think a lot of people love to run away from people that show them who they are. Because they're afraid
Yeah.
of themselves. They're afraid of
Yeah.
like dealing with their own shit. That's just-
100%.
I did that like a lot of my life, but also I did that when I was going through my shit. You know, it's like I
Yes.
always, anytime someone caught on to like that I had issues, like in the beginning of college, like,
Yeah.
I like stopped being friends with them. I would jump
Yeah.
to the next friend group. Next friend
Okay.
group. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't change themselves, they change their circle.
They change their circle, but they don't change themselves. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Same circumstances, but like just with new faces.
Yes.
Same behaviors with new faces.
Yes.
And that's why people do that. That's why I
Yes.
don't blame people who like jump friend groups because I'm like, they're probably deeply very unhappy.
Yeah. They're probably deeply very unhappy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely been instances where just, I think I was talking about recently, where just like there was the way that someone was treating multiple people. I was like, they are so sad on the inside. They are so sad on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, that's the reality of a lot of this stuff. It's just like
No one
unhealing.
hates other people more than someone who hates themselves. right?
Exactly.
Like it was like
Yeah.
one of those things when I lost weight too. And it's like, I'm not afraid to give these examples because I'm like, I literally lived through it, had to unlearn shit and like realized I was projecting, right?
Yes.
When I lost the weight, when I would see another person in a bigger body, I'd be like, oh my God, ew, fat.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid that people would call me that. So I would be calling,
Okay.
you know, it's like I became a person I didn't even recognize. And it like broke my heart, like going, like just thinking back to it too. But
Yeah.
it's also like, that's why I'm so cognizant of like what I say. But like also it's like everything, like am I projecting something or, you know, or even when like someone would come to me and immediately I would have that like first judgment that the world teaches you to think. And then the second one is really you, where it's like the first one may like judge them. And the second one is like, wait, why did I judge them? You know, like that's the thought you need to listen to where it's like.
I do that all. Yeah. That is something that like I think it's interesting because you were talking about forgiveness at the beginning and like your process of forgiving your mom. And I went through a really big process of forgiveness where like, I kind of like, I know forgiveness is for yourself and like you're supposed to forgive everyone. Like I know that. But I thought like we were allowed to have lines that cannot be crossed sort of thing. And so I was like, I'm never going to forgive the person that hit me with a car. I'm never going to forgive that driver.
Oh, and that's okay.
And I was like, no, I've forgiven them. I have.
I mean, but it's like one of those things where it's like, I think people equate forgiveness a lot of the time with like not holding anyone else accountable. But it's like you've already held them accountable in your mind, you know? It's like, so that's
you
why.
you can hold them accountable in your mind. But like the book that I was reading and teaching about the importance of forgiveness also was teaching about judgment. And now, since I've read that book, anytime I judge someone, my second thought is, okay, what's unhealed? Why did you pass that judgment on that person? But yeah, but I did work. It took a lot, but I worked. I've totally forgiven that driver. I'm like,
Because like honestly, it's like what? It's like I know these are cliche sayings, but it's like when you don't forgive someone, it's like you're the one who's like only carrying it, right?
Yeah.
Like poison and shit. It's like, girl, the other person's literally not affected.
and like
at all.
exactly. And they probably are not thinking about you. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're refusing to forgive, your grudge holding, it is draining yourself. That is not doing anything to the other person.
Like you holding the grudge is just reinforcing how little you think about yourself.
Exactly. That's all it is. That's all it's doing.
Is the book you are talking about like the 4 agreements. Do you know that book?
No, but oh my God, that's remember, I'm going to ask you for a recommendation. Emily's recommendation was the 4, now the 5 agreements.
Oh, really?
Yes. The book that I'm talking about, it was called Judgment Detox by Gabrielle Bernstein. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, I thought you were talking about that book, but I was like, yeah, that book like quite literally probably saved my life. That was like one of the first books I read.
It's a really important book to read. Yeah. Yeah. I say as someone who still hasn't read it.
I mean, you just really need the 4 agreements and then you can like kind of banter off of it,
Yes.
you know?
Now there's 5.
I didn't even know that. Well,
There's
I'm gonna
a
have to.
5th.
I mean, things change, you know, things evolve.
Yes.
So.
Now it's quintuplets.
What?
Quintuplets.
What does that mean?
Remember, there's quadruplets, and then
I
5
didn't
is
even know.
quintuplets.
Oh, I was like, what the
So
heck?
there's like one child, then there's twins, then there's triplets, then there's quadruplets, it's 4, and then there's
girl.
quintuplets, it's 5.
Girl, I could have one sister. I have one sister. That's like
You have one sister.
It's like that's enough sibling for me.
I have one brother, but
Oh
you
my
know,
God,
you know, you've seen the crazy, like the octomom who had 8 kids at once. You see those things.
I've seen them, but never, not us.
I don't like. I never lived it, but I just know
Yeah.
about the definition of quintuplets. I know it's a thing that exists.
I mean, no, yeah, because I used to work on reality TV, and it'd be like they would want me to find
Of course,
like
you worked on reality TV.
they
What
wanted me to-
show?
well, all of them. Well, like we were developing
all of them, all the reality shows.
No, but like I worked on like carpool karaoke. I worked on like
you worked on carpool karaoke.
Yeah,
That's
like
so fun.
like live show, like carpet stuff. I worked on the Friends reunion. What else? I mean, there's a lot. I worked on the Kobe Memorial Special.
Oh.
And then like that was more my production days. And then like I like went into development.
And then you went into development.
Development was more so like the ideations of
Yeah,
like shows.
yeah, I know what
so,
development
like,
is,
content
yeah.
development. It was like
yeah. I know
for
what
like comedy or
development is.
like documentaries or like food shows or like all of those. You just ideate everything.
I
And
feel
so,
like documentaries or food shows would just be ignoring your God-given talent.
What do you mean?
Your God-given talent of humor.
I mean, listen, some of it, the food stuff, it's like, it was more so like I was graphically designing a lot of stuff.
Oh,
like,
you were-
but like I was
okay.
also like thinking of ideas. But
Okay,
it was,
you also have a graphic design skill.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my
I did
God.
like, I have like 500 pitch decks from like those development times that are in my portfolio. But like, it's one of those things like I'll do it freelance maybe here and there, but it's not really something that I've resented it for a long time because I worked 9 to 5 doing it, and it was just like a lot. It was past the 9 to 5. But no, I think I'm glad that it didn't taint my ability to laugh.
Okay.
Because if I had to do that for work, I think I would hate it. I would not even like try to get into it. No, seriously. But I think again, like laughter is the best medicine because I think like it has helped reshape the way that I just think about every single thing.
Yeah.
Or like when I'm struggling with something, you know, like I try to make a joke about it too. Obviously not like the super serious stuff, but it's like the things that I know that like will pass. I just kind of like, you know, try to make some either dark humor about it or like something that'll help me process it in the moment and then I'll process it deeper later.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
Yeah, especially. Well, it's like the whole concept of gallows humor. It's like when you experience something like emotion so intense that it's like if you don't laugh, you'll cry. That's why like a lot of comedians come from like really traumatic backgrounds. Like, yeah, it's like choose laughter instead of choosing tears.
Oh, I choose both. Babe, no, I schedule a 15-minute cry break like today at like 1:15. Like
you schedule your cry breaks?
I have to, or else I don't like to have
Capricorn
pent-up
placements.
I don't want to have like pent-up emotion. So like I try to like, you know, have like a little cry break moment or just like a moment where I'm like feeling sad or like whatever, you know? Because I think if you don't, then it's hard for you to actually truly laugh.
It's hard for you to actually truly laugh. Okay.
Because yeah, someone like broke my heart telling me this one time when I lost weight and I was like let the world tell me who I was and how much I was worth. Someone was like, you don't have the same laugh you used to when you were overweight. Yeah, and I finally like in the past like 5 years, like finally like feel like I gotten that laughter back. I know, but like it fucked me the fuck up because I was like, oh my God, I like lost that like childish, like not childish, but like, you know, that like just laugh of like not giving a shit. I was very like reserved and like just kind of like kind of shut down, not shut down, but like shut out to the world where people were like, yeah, you used to like be so like laughy, like, you know, you kind of lost that. And I was like, what the fuck? But I think a lot of my time in therapy too is like trying to get that back. And so I think that's why I'm so big on laughter. Because if you could laugh so freely is how free you are. I don't know.
If you can laugh, that's how free you are.
Like how much you can be free when you laugh. Because you know, there are people that can just like laugh demurely, like, haha.
Yeah.
But girl, when I'm like,
No, when I
literally,
laugh, I fucking laugh.
I'm like hackling.
No, when I laugh, I laugh. I don't laugh the same as I did before I got hurt, but that's because I was trached and my vocal cords got
Oh
shredded.
no, of course, yeah.
You know, as one happens. But when I laugh, I fucking laugh. Also, when I cry, I fucking cry. I have no shame in my tears. I in public have like full on fucking sobbed, and then I've also in public like died laughing before.
Yeah, I'm like a 365 party girl, but then also someone like you. No, literally, like
I'm a 365 party girl.
But then also like
Charlie
someone
XCX
like you
has been mentioned in like the last 3 episodes I've recorded.
I mean, but like it's always gonna be, you know, because I think she just gives the vibe of like really unseriousness, which is so needed, right?
Yes.
But I also think that like you also need to have that moment where you're just like, I drink wine, you know, like Adele,
I drink wine,
Adele and shit, you know.
Yeah.
You should be sad, simpy. I have like one song in all my like twerking music playlist because I'm like, girl,
twerking music playlist.
I need like to have one really sad one, so it's like I'm like literally like balls to the ground, and it's like one sad one. I'm like, okay.
Can you twerk to a sad one, or do you like take a break?
No, you have to take a breather, you know? You gotta start crying.
You have to take a breather.
And then like my rule though is like once like the sad ones are over, it's like you're back to being you know.
You're back to being
a baddie.
A 365 party girl. Yeah. I can't twerk. It makes me really sad.
I mean, I think when I used to dance a little bit more, but I just kind of bop around nowadays.
My ass just doesn't shake like that.
Yeah, I don't think mine either.
No, it just doesn't go like that. I wish it did.
I just pretend. I delude myself it is.
Yeah, then you know what? Fuck it. I can twerk. In fact, I'm gonna twerk hard after this.
I delude myself so hard. My friends are like, oh my God, like they joke around. They're like, you should like learn how to like pole dance and stuff. Just for like fun because you have like strong legs, right? Because I'm a runner. And I delude myself. I'm like, yeah, definitely. I could definitely work at like an Abbey or Mickey's. I'm like, I cannot. I cannot. Like, girl, I can barely hold on for dear life. Like, you think I'm going to hold on to a fucking pole?
Nope. I want to take a pole dancing class, though.
I want to take one, too.
I feel like it'd be fun.
I want to take one just for fun, but I don't know. I'm scared. What if I like it like too much?
You're like, what if I think I'd really, it just seems so freeing.
It does, but I also didn't realize, I found this out like literally like a few months ago. I didn't know, like I thought the pole was just one straight like solid piece of metal, but apparently there's like different, like there's like literally like pieces of it. That's how people like.
That's how they do all the things.
I'm like, how you bitches not have fucking calluses on your hands? That's why.
That's how they don't defy biology, defy physics.
Because I was like, damn, my hands would be fucking like
but it's
gross
still,
out.
It's still, pole dancing is like the hardest thing physical thing, like ever. Like J-Lo, when she trained for Hustlers, said it was by far the hardest physical thing she's ever done. Yeah.
Oh God, I would not want to train for that. For a movie? And like having to reshoot those scenes?
Well,
I'd be like, let me clock out.
Well, there's the girl that just won the Oscar for Anora. She had to learn how to pole dance for Anora, and she has debilitating vertigo. And like after she was like, yeah, the first couple times I did it, I would have to like lie down on the ground for 45 minutes after. And my head now, like I can't, like just doing that, like made my head get a head rush. Like I'm very sensitive to like, and I get very dizzy. Super easy. So like, I understand what she's saying. I'm like, yeah, I have no fucking idea. Like she did it. She won the Oscar, but I'm like, I have no fucking idea how I would train for that movie. I would need to lie down on the ground for 7 hours after I did one spin.
She could have had a stunt double.
She did it.
Oh,
she
really?
did it all herself. Yes. She wanted that Oscar. She was going hard.
I mean, girl, people win Oscars and you still don't know like some of the stunt people. But I feel like, okay, fine. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she did.
But who I feel bad for is Cynthia Erivo, because she also did all her own stunts and, you know, she wanted that Oscar.
Oh, no, but guess what? You know why they're not going to get it? They're going to sweep this year.
Yeah, she's going to get it for the second
They always do that.
I don't think Ariana Grande, though, is. Because Glinda, I don't know if you know Wicked, but Glinda is like a much bigger part in the first act. So I don't think she's going to get it. I think Ariana Grande, it's you out.
I'm going to fight you on that a little bit, only because remember Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
They had to wait till all of it came out, and then they finally started getting awards.
Yes.
I think the same thing is going to happen with Wicked.
I think Cynthia Erivo is going to win this year. I don't think Ariana Grande is.
I mean, she doesn't really need it, honestly.
She's fine without it.
Yeah, people knows like
she's fine without it. But her big, like Glinda is mainly a character in the first act. In the second act, like she's there, like she pops up, but like not nearly to the amount. She doesn't have a song. Like she doesn't have her own song.
But I feel like part one's gonna live in people's head like rent free.
Yes, part one. I mean, she fucking crushed it in part one. I think she should have gotten supporting. I do.
I just want to see Jonathan Bailey.
I love that man.
I just found out he was gay. I didn't know he was gay.
Oh yeah, he's gay.
I was like, period.
Well, why do
Just
you,
kidding.
I'm not gonna, it's mean of me, but I was gonna say, why do you think she's with Ethan Slater and not with Jonathan Bailey?
Who?
Ariana Grande.
Well, didn't she just get a divorce?
She did get a divorce, but part of the reason why she got a divorce apparently was because she was cheating on her husband with Ethan Slater. But that's apparently just a part, and that's also a rumor. So that might
Yeah,
not
that's
be
none of
true.
my business. But also, I think I'm like, I get it now.
Yeah, so it might not be true. But
get
like
that.
Jonathan Bailey, it's like when
Jonathan
you first
Bailey.
hear about that, you're like, Ethan Slater, really? Like if you don't know Jonathan Bailey's gay, it's like you could, but what about that man? But then you find
I
out
didn't
Jonathan
know.
Bailey's gay, and you're like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you can get
No,
him.
but I feel like, see, listen, no. No, because I feel like there's just I overthink too much. The world, I cannot be dating someone who has like that much like fame and stuff.
Dating somebody famous would be it would be hard.
I've had friends who dated people famous and they said it was kind of exhausting.
It must be hard. Like I remember when I was a little girl in love with Harry Styles. Little girl, what am I saying? I'm still in love with Harry Styles. But I remember when I was like in high school, like loved One Direction. My mom would always be like, and like, about their girlfriends when I was like 14. My mom was like, imagine how hard it must be being one of their girlfriends. Everyone is obsessed with them. Everyone wants to fuck them. Everyone wants to date them. Everyone wants to date them. And then all you bitches hate their girlfriends. And I was like, I don't see it, Mom. I would love to be Harry Styles' girlfriend. And now that I'm older, I'm like, that would be fucking terrible.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
That'd be terrible. A mob of 12-year-olds would hate me and everybody would want to fuck my mans.
Why do you think everyone has like an NDA?
Yeah.
There are some things I can't say on the record, but like there are some, I'm not going to say anything because there's like a lot of things, not with me, but like people I know of like bigger people in celebrity that I'm like,
that they've then signed insane NDAs.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's sad, but like, shit, okay.
Yeah.
It's just like not a type of love I want, May that love never find me, type of thing.
May that love never find
Literally,
me.
may that love never fucking find me. And that's the thing too, with laughter, you need to be able to laugh with your partner.
Yes.
And like, a lot of people
100%.
are just not, people take life too seriously.
Sense of humor is so important. Like if I could never date somebody who their sense of humor isn't like, if we don't have the banter on the first date, I'm like, this ain't gonna work.
But then it's not even about like the first thing. It's like, if I feel like I can't be myself around you and I feel uncomfortable being myself around you, you don't even have to be like comical comedian, like but it's like have some type of like, kind of similar like humor or just like get it. Or like, where it's like, I don't feel shameful because I've like felt weird before around people where it's like when you're yourself and like, you laugh a lot or like you're being like truly you, they like get off put by it because they're scared of like showing who they are to people. They have walls so high that like when you try to break them down, they like make you the problem.
Yeah, I know that is. My good guy friend of mine, we went out last Sunday to lunch, and he was talking about a girl he had recently gone on a date with, and he was like having a second date with her, like he liked it, it was a great date. But the first thing the way he described her to me was he was like, she was super nice, she was super sweet, and I literally was like, I'd be so offended if I went on a date with a guy and that's how they describe me. They're not describing me as she was fucking hilarious. Like I would be, that's so not my like I say like a problem that I have is my way of flirting is like I say lightly bullying. Like that's my way of flirting. It's a type of flirting, it's teasing, but like my way like is kind of bullying you. And the problem that I have is like, I'm really friendly, like I'm a friendly person. So like, I'll be really nice to most people I meet, but nice is performative. So like guys will think I'm into them because like, I'm super friendly and I'm super nice. But really, if I'm being super nice to you, I'm not into you.
I was going to say that, yeah.
If I'm into you, I'm like shitting on your life a little bit.
I mean, not like, like that, but it's like at a certain level. For me, at a certain level, I will do that.
At a certain level, of course. Like, no, not like heavily when we're in like the first stages, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Because I think I got, what I got confused with too in the beginning of like just dating another. I feel like sometimes like I think a lot of us confuse oversharing with vulnerability. A lot of the time.
Okay.
We do.
I think that, all right, explain, go. Because I definitely feel like that could be true, but like go.
Oversharing, when you confuse oversharing as vulnerability, you are going to start sharing things that are like you just met this person on an app 2 hours ago. They don't need to know and
Oh, yeah.
process like every single thing
Oh,
you've
yeah.
gone through. It's like, just think about it if you're getting that, right? It's like, it might be overwhelming. That's not true vulnerability. That's you like saying and putting all the cards on the table because you're afraid that like if you don't say all of these things like from either a past partner or whatever, you're not being open enough, not communicative enough. It's like, it's coming from a place of lack. Whereas if you just like did it naturally and let people find these things out, not like find these things out, but like you share it slowly, that's more vulnerable than being like, here's an open casket right away. Like, right, you know, like,
Yeah. No, I 100%
it's like
get
jump
that.
scare.
I 100% get that. I definitely get that notion on like when people have first dates and somebody's just like basically trauma dumping. And it's like, slow down. I've had one drink. Let's calm down. I've
Yeah.
definitely seen that notion. I also feel like because of what I've been through, I always try to be like a little like I try to keep it close to my I obviously I have this podcast, I'm very open about it, but it's not something I like to lead with. And like I kind of want people to like have to drag it out for me a little bit, but it can be a little tricky to navigate because like when you ask me what I do, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have this podcast." And it's like, "What about?" And I'm like, "Spirituality and like overcoming trauma and like laughter, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Okay, where did that?" And I'm like, yeah, I used to be an actor, but then I had to pivot. I went through some shit a few years ago." They're like, "What did you go through?" And then I was like, "Well," and then the whole thing comes out. And it's like, I always am like, when that happens, I'm like, I don't want this to be the thing I lead with, but and that's something I'm still figuring out.
For me, I had that issue a little bit too until I realized, why do you think that you owe them the entire story? You bullet point it. And I was like, wait, my friend gave me that advice. I was like, what do you mean? Girl, if they ask you what you've been through or whatever, you just bullet point it in your head and just say like you know when you're like summarizing a paragraph, like one
Yeah.
paragraph in one sentence, do that.
Yeah.
And like, so you're not like like hashing the whole story and re-traumatizing yourself in the moment.
Yeah.
As you're like trying to meet this new person.
That's what I've kind of started doing. I'm just like, I say like, yeah, I was hit by a car. It was really bad. Like I'm talking brain surgery and just, I had to rebuild my life.
Or you redirect the conversation a
Yeah.
little bit where it's like you say one thing and then it reminds you of a question where it's like, oh, but like, have you ever done something like this? You know? And then like
Yes.
it makes them talk about themselves for a hot second and it
Yes.
redirects the whole conversation.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
But that's not even avoiding. I think avoiding is very different than that. I think this is more so I'm talking about first date. I'm not talking about like the 10th date. I'm like, by the 10th date, you should kind of know the person.
Oh no, by the 10th day, it's also like I have scars everywhere. So like the second item of clothing is removed, it's like, what happened there? Also, you can very much feel my metal ribs. Like you can really feel them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
had
you can
them.
really
I
feel
didn't know.
them. After the episode, I'll
Oh
let
my
you
God,
feel them.
I have like never actually gotten surgery except for like my finger.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I had one surgical procedure before all my surgeries. I had a breast reduction. And
Oh
then
my
one
God,
of the
I'd be
surgeries I
scared.
got I have a whole episode about this, was one of the surgeries I got from everything was a boob job. So it's kind of ironic that I went from breast reduction to boob job, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole story.
As you should, girl. It's
It's
your
a whole
body.
story. Listen, I've had 4 sets of boobs in my lifetime. It's crazy.
If Kris Jenner can go from 70 to 20, you can do anything.
Exactly. Kris Jenner can go.
Girl, Stephen Levine, New York City, Park Avenue. Don't ask me why I know that.
What?
I'm just pre-knowing.
I'm getting ready.
I'm pre-knowing, but I probably won't need it. I'm Asian. I won't need it till I'm like 60.
I'm Asian. I won't need
I won't. Asian don't raisin, babe, until I'm 60.
Oh my
And then I'm gonna
God.
need what she has. So,
Oh my God. Okay.
so,
This has been amazing.
yeah.
So the 2 things I do every episode is I share my spiritual moment of the week. And I also have the guest. When I do solo episodes, I give my rec on anything that supports spiritual growth. But when I have guests, they share their rec. So like Emily shared the quintuplet agreements. That's what Emily shared. So like now you're going to share your rec. But if you want, I can do my spiritual moment first if you want to think a little further.
Yeah, I want to think a little bit.
Okay.
Why don't you share one? I need one too.
So
From you.
I'll do my spiritual moment of the week. So my spiritual moment of the week has to do with the stars. So the full moon's tonight, the full moon in Gemini.
Oh God, what's in the microwave again?
Gemini.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Anytime someone says, I'm like, oh, fuck.
But anyway, this full moon, what it's supposed to bring to you is like clarity and reframing, like clarity on a situation that like you've been, or a person or a thing or a job, whatever, something you've been ruminating over, and just sort of like a reframe. And now you understand it and you're like, oh my God, this is how I need to navigate it. And yesterday, I had a life coach session with my life coach, Dom. She also goes to the place I'm not allowed to say because they'll start charging me.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
No,
But, you know,
no, I know. I don't know about
maybe.
that.
I don't know.
But I was having a session with her and I was talking about two separate things that have like really been weighing like heavy. I've been thinking about them so much like over the course of like the last month or so and been so like I don't know how to like move forward in these situations. I don't know so our session was like very emotional. There were a lot of tears. But we got in one of them I found the root cause, what the root fear is of this thing that I've been going through for the past month. And I was like, and now I know how to like, because I know what the root is. And then the other one that I had was like, it has to do with your intuition and trusting your intuition more. It's like basically this thing that I'm supposed to do, but like, I just, it's so hard when you're a people pleaser and I'm trying to stop being like, you don't want to let people down and you're supposed to do this thing. I'm supposed to do this thing, but I just like, it hasn't been feeling right with me. And I was talking to Dot and I was like, yeah, like on paper, like there's no reason why I shouldn't do it. Like one
Uh-huh.
plus one plus two, like there's no direct problem. And Dom was like, babe, your intuition, listen to your body. Like that's what you preach. Reason enough is that for whatever reason, it doesn't feel right. That is reason enough. That is your proof. That is your reason. That is your intuition. It doesn't feel right. And I was like, okay, great. And now like I'm all prepared to like, and just be like, it doesn't feel right. I'm stopping. I'm pulling out. So those were my pulling out. So those were my two spiritual moments of the week. And like the crazy thing about it was I did not know that that's what this specific full moon was supposed to bring to me. And I just read that about it this morning. And I was like, oh my God, this literally happened. I've had these two things completely reframed and I'm looking at them completely differently.
Yeah.
And I have clarity on each of them.
I mean, that's like, it's always going to be a process too, like a challenge, like, cause sometimes you'll question it still, regardless
Yes.
of how, but I think that like, yes, the body keeps the score, girl.
The
Like,
body keeps the score.
it does. It
I
fucking
love
knows.
that book.
It fucking knows.
The Body Keeps the Score. I love that book. I talked about it with somebody else on another episode, but we just talked about it.
Like bad example, the spark you feel with somebody, the butterflies you feel with somebody, baby, that is anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. The butterflies you feel are anxiety. It's a trauma response.
It is. And also, I mean, it's different for everyone. For the spark for me though, if I feel a spark with someone, I gotta run the opposite way. Because the spark reminds me of the love that I received as a kid, which was abusive love.
Okay. All right.
Every time I had a spark with someone, girl.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah.
Was it good?
No.
That was like I saw this whole thing about how like the butterflies, like it's a trauma. You're addicted. You're addicted to that feeling of like that trauma. And it's like, but it's not, it doesn't mean it's not good. Because the person that you're supposed to end up with ultimately is supposed to make you feel so safe. It's not supposed to be like butterflies and nervousness. It's not that. Not that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I mentioned earlier, like with the spiritual thing, I was like, I could say the 4 agreements again, right? But then I also feel like, what have I been recently doing? I'm like trying to think of, it's only what, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh dear. I feel like just June in general has been like, what the fuck? Just a lot of shit has been going on, in the world.
Oh,
but
things are crazy right now.
Yeah, I think also the thing that we can take from a lot of this, like just whatever's going on in the world, like obviously like hold your people close, right?
Yes.
But also I think it's like, we've seen time and time again when it's like people constantly try to find solutions to problems they created. And it could literally apply to anything, either politically or it could also apply internally. It's like a lot of times we want to look for solutions, right? To certain things in our life when we haven't even figured out how to, we got to go to that, like what's causing that? What caused that, in the first place? And it's like you can't, I'm trying to think of a good analogy.
I love that people want to find solutions to problems they created.
It's like you cannot have a broken cup and fill it up and expect it to be full.
Yeah.
You're like, you kept on trying to tape it when you could just like, girl, change the cup.
Yes. 100%.
Bad analogy, but trying to explain it a little bit. But also something I realized this week, it was like what happened with that friend. Or not really. I call them like friendlies. I don't call people acquaintances because that sounds kind of mean.
I say friendly acquaintance.
I just say friendlies. It's easier on the
friendlies.
mouth.
I like that.
No, but I think when he lashed out at me, it gave me a realization where it's like, oh my God, I truly am like able to like detach myself. Not detach myself, but you get what I mean. Like I'm able to be girly pop about it. I'm able to kind of really take my own advice on things and like know that they're coming from a place of hurt. And when you realize that nothing you do or like say to the right people that are supposed to be in your life, like they're never gonna leave you based on, you know, unless you're like problematic, then girl, bye. No, actually, but like if it's like, girl, you fart around me, you say like that, like whatever, it's like you say the most outlandish, crazy, delusional shit. I'm like, girl, I'll laugh at you, and it's like it's not gonna make me love you any less because I think people are so afraid what's on the other side of cringe and fear that they're like afraid to go past it. But that's where the success is. That's where the healing is. That's where everything is.
Yeah.
You know?
Amazing. Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, Jess, where can people find you real quick?
Well, you can
Definitely
find me,
Delusional, the pod.
Definitely Delusional, the pod, and then Dean W. Lin on Instagram. Some people might know me from Instagram because that's like my biggest platform. But girl, we'll see. Because I've been talking about, you know, I always talk about things though. Because like, you know, I don't have millions of followers. So I'm like, I don't really care about if I lose them or not. Like in terms of like, if I go talk about like the things that people are too afraid to talk about.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yes.
And so.
Well, the authenticity is why you're getting your followers. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today. This was amazing, and I was really excited for this one. So thank you very much. Yep, you know where to find Dean and me. I'm at Gabriella Rebranded on Instagram, TikTok, GabriellaRebranded.com, blah, blah, blah. Like, rate, review, all the things.
Yeah.
This has been great.
Yeah.
Win most, lose some. That's my little saying.
What?
Thank you some. Win most, lose some.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's because I used to say win some, lose most, but reframe, win most, lose some.
Or just keep winning.
Or just keep winning. Or just only win.
Yeah.
Or
it's a
just
mindset, girl. Delude yourself into thinking, okay, everything you lose is what you're winning, right? Let's so you're just always winning.
Always winning. Okay. Thank you so much. This has been great. And yeah, that's it. This
Bye,
is me.
girly pop.
Bye.